Hello, how are you doing? I know I've been a little bit quiet on here, so apologies for that. I've been really having a think about what's the best thing that I can do here, and I think I got a little bit lost in it, and I'm coming back to that realization that it's simple. The simple things are the important things, and I want to share stories about healing, stories that help people grow and reflect, and that's it. That's the essence. And so, in line with that, today I'm going to share a short story that I heard recently. And it is a story about frogs, like so many of my stories seem to be recently. Once upon a time, there was a group of frogs and they were hopping along, bong, 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 bong. And all of a sudden, two of those frogs fell down into a deep, deep, deep pit. The other frogs at the top looked over the edge. They looked down at those two frogs and they said, "We're sorry, there's no way we can get you out. You're as good as dead." But those two frogs down the bottom did not listen, and they continued to jump and jump and jump and try and get out of the hole. Each time they jumped higher but fell down and hurt themselves as they landed. It was so painful to watch that those frogs at the top looked down and said, "You're as good as dead. Don't put yourself through this pain. Just accept it that you are dead." After shouting this time and time again, the first frog from the bottom of the pit looked up. "Oh, it's true. It's so high and I'm in so much pain from these falls." And with that, he rolled over onto his back and he breathed his last breath and died. But the second frog did not listen. He continued to jump up, and each time he jumped, he fell down and hurt himself even more. And the frogs at the top continued to shout, "Come on, stop it, stop putting yourself through this. Accept it, you're as good as dead." But still, that second frog did not listen. He jumped, and he jumped, and he jumped, and he jumped. And finally, he did the unexpected. On that last jump, he reached the top and he was free. He was out of the hole. The other frogs came to him and said, "Did you not hear what we were saying? It's amazing what you've done, but you put yourself through so much pain." And the frog looked to them and he then explained using his own methods that he was deaf. And so no, he had not heard what they said. Every time they had shouted those negative words down to him, he had thought they were shouting words of encouragement. Every time they shouted down to him, in his heart he wanted it more and more. And now here he was, free. I like that story because I think it shows the power of words and the power that a positive word can do, a word of encouragement can do to someone when they're down and need it most, and vice versa, that when someone is down, to kick them and give negativity towards them can be that final thing that breaks. But again, as with all of these things, often where are those negative words coming from? Sometimes they're externally, but more often than not, when you're down, those negative words and those words of discouragement come from within. And equally, those words of encouragement can come from within if you can find that pace of calm and realize that it always comes from within. And I know it's much harder to do than say, but it's true. And I hope you like that story about frogs. And I'll come back to you with some more. But thank you so much for your support. Thank you.